Hi, my name's Adam Newman and I deliver talks for Year 10, Year 11 and Year 12 students to assist them in their career progression and early life choices from someone who's worked in both the university system and the private sector alike. As a young person, if you make the right choice about where you want to go with your career, your life will be eminently better off than if you make some poor choices. Doesn't mean you can't change things as you move down the line, but it's all about making life as easy for yourself as you possibly can. Now I'm going to explain this utilizing this triangular matrix, which I didn't come up with. It's fairly common knowledge, so I'm just going to call it the triangular life matrix, and it looks like this. You can see at the top we have money, and on one side we have energy, on the other side we have time. Now this matrix applies to you no matter how old or how young you are. It will apply through life, but under one of life's little tricks, you only ever get 2 elements of these out of the 3. You never get all 3. Let's start with our older friends, our grandparents, people who are beyond retirement age. Okay, they have an abundance of time. They don't work. Okay, so every day is their oyster. They also have an abundance of money. They've been at work 30, 40, 50 years making an income, paying off houses, buying investment properties. Most of them are quite well off. They just don't have any energy. And that's what happens in life. You don't have energy when you become old. It's a sad reality. Someone my age, I've been at work 15 years, I've put a little bit of money away, I've had a bit of life experience, I've started to pay off a house, so there's no way I can say I don't have money as much as I'd like, but I do have some money. I have energy, I have ideas, I get out of bed every morning and think, what can I achieve? Can I start a business? Can I go on a trip? The thing I don't have is time. I've got a young family, I've got a full-time job, I run a business. It's just very, very difficult for me to have time. You, on the other hand, as a young student or a young adult up to about the age of 25, you don't have money, you have time and you have energy. And on this life's matrix, that is the one position I would like to be in if I was a Year 11, Year 10 or Year 12 student. Why, you ask? Because you don't need money. You live at home, okay? Now it's not the coolest thing in the world, but you don't have any accommodation costs. Now in Australia, 20% of everybody who goes to work, on average, people spend 20% of their wages, sometimes more, on the cost of housing. On top of that, you have bills, you have food, you have entertainment costs. So every dollar that you earn from your job, 20 cents goes to paying for where you live. Then you have bills on top of that. And that's why Australia has a credit card debt of $54 billion, because people go to work, they work for 40 hours and they think, hey, I've got no money at the end of this. Why can't I enjoy a trip to Bali? Why can't I buy an expensive pair of shoes? I deserve this because I work hard, and we get ourselves in a hole. Now, because you don't have accommodation costs, therefore you don't need money. And this is a fortunate position to be in because you have an abundance of time. You've got your whole life ahead of you. You also have an abundance of energy. This is the other good thing about the way the life matrix falls for young people, is that out of these 3 elements, the one thing you don't have can be acquired. Now, if I'm an old person, I can't acquire energy anywhere. I can't go down to the pharmacy and purchase energy for as much as I would like to try. If I'm middle-aged, there's nothing I can do personally to go and get more time in my life. But I guarantee everyone who's watching this video, everyone who comes and sees one of my shows, they make the right career choices, they go down the right path, and they're smart. They'll end up with money at some point. They may not be until they're 30, may not be until they're 40, but they will have money, and you can acquire money. Money is something you can get if you go and get a job. They'll pay you to do that job. What you have at the moment is time and energy. Now, energy will allow you to do anything that you want. I don't need to explain that. But time, there's a widely accepted piece of wisdom that 10,000 hours is what you need to become an expert in something. So if you apply 10,000 hours to something, you become an expert. Why does this matter, you ask me? Because if you become an expert in a field, you can bank on it. You can get paid. Getting paid for something that you know a lot about is awesome, and that's why people go to university and do degrees. It's essentially a formal way to say this person has done a lot of hours in something. 10,000 hours in an area that you are passionate is a fantastic way for you to create a great path for you to go along your life. Now let's talk about darts. I like to play darts, you probably don't like to play darts, but I'm sure all of you have at some point picked up a dart and thrown it. Now if you remember the first time you ever threw a dart, you would remember that you had no technique, you had no idea what to do. You threw the dart at the board with the sole aim of basically trying not to be embarrassed in front of your friends and hit the target. Not any target, just hit the board altogether. Imagine if you did that for 10,000 hours. Now I've worked it out, 10,000 hours means if you do something for 8 hours a day, 3 years non-stop, how good do you think you would be at throwing darts after 3 years? You'll be absolutely fantastic. The reason I use darts is it doesn't sound glamorous, it doesn't sound fun. Well, that is fun. It's certainly not glamorous, but the winner of the major darts tournament now take home $1 million each. This is a highly competitive and highly strategic industry, but these experts are banking on what they know. I'd like you to think about that. With all of these at your behest, what are you going to do with it? I'm Adam Newman. See you later.